1929,
1929,
641
banks
closed
failed,
down.
closed down.
1930,
1930,
1,300 banks failed.
1,300 banks failed.
By 1931,
By 1931,
1,700 banks
1,700 banks closed.
That's a lot of banks. Okay?
Okay?
So we have the banks collapse.
So we have the banks
Usually
collapse.
when you hear about the Great Depression, you usually hear about the bank
and
the credit
and the credit
stock.
and the
So
stock.
you only have
So
to pick
you only
one.
have to pick one.
That's up to you.
That's up to you.
Whatever one that
Pick
you
whatever
are
one that
able
you are able and you know you're able to talk about the phone.
Okay, in detail.
Okay, in detail.
So we've got the causes
So
of
we've
the
got
Great
the causes
Depression.
of the Great
We've
Depression.
got President
We've got President Hoover.
He didn't really do anything
Didn't
to
really
help
do anything to
the
help
crisis.
the crisis.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Okay.
keep going.
I'm gonna keep going.
Prior to this point,
the
U.S.
government
really didn't follow the business cycles of the economy, right? Now you hear the president talk a lot about the economy, right? They're tied really close, and we often put a lot of responsibility on the government to keep track of and maybe even guide the economy. Back then, that was not the case until this happened. I'm gonna stop
for a second and ask
questions.
if anybody has
Okay,
questions.
go ahead, Eliani.
Okay, go ahead, Eliani.
Oh no, I forgot I had my hand.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Eris. Do you have a question?
So Mayor was actually Black Friday created because of this?
I don't know.
It was originally
called Black Friday when that happened. So I'm not quite sure if they're connected, but I'll look it up and get back to you.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
But I do know with Black Friday with holidays,
because their accounts are in the black,
which is
that's a business
term. You know,
term.
there's accounts
that are in the red and the green.
So yeah. I'm not a business major. I wasn't a business major,
so I'm not quite sure. Eliani, do you have another question?
Okay, I'm gonna go forward. If you think of it, then
I'll get back to you about it.
Yeah, it's not a question. It's not a question. I believe because I just have my baby sister and my sister in the hospital.
You can go. That's important.
Go ahead. You may go if you need to do that.
I'll be back later.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. I hope everything's okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
So we're gonna keep going.
I'm gonna skip this.
I'm trying to get to the
effect.
That's a lot of
charts that you guys don't need to know about.
Okay. So here's some pictures that kind of show you what life was like for people living during this time. This is a very famous photograph
of a mother and her children. She's probably thinking about how they're going to eat,
how they're going to keep their
house.
These are people in the
bread line,
maybe even trying to look for a job. There's soup kitchens. People are trying to find food. People are trying to find and keep their housing. People are trying to find jobs. Okay, it's a hard time. Bread lines in New York City. People are lined up around to get food. Okay, that's just 1931. That's 2 years after the crash of the stock market. Okay. Police stand guard outside of New York Exchange Bank. Unemployed men are trying to get jobs.
I
can't see because there's a window here. The American Legion Employment Bureau in Los Angeles. So all of those guys are probably trying to get maybe one or two positions. So they need two men out of that whole group, maybe. This is a shack with a tree out front. The times are hard, right? That's what you should be seeing from these photos. Times are hard. They're trying to survive, right? There's homelessness in Seattle, Washington. People are really just trying to get along and live. So I'm trying to get to the effect. This is a very living. There's no way like
There's
the
no way
American
like
way.
the American
And
way.
you have
And you have
people trying to
people trying
survive
to survive.
and I'm sorry, I don't know why that's doing that.
Sorry, I don't know why.
People are trying to survive.
People are trying to survive.
Eat and just
and
live,
just live.
right?
Right?
Some families have
Some
to move.
families have to move.
Some families have
Some
to
families have to
move to where they would never
to
think
where
that
they
they
would
would
never
move
think that
to
they would
in order
move
to
to
find
in
a
order to
life
find
so
a
that they can
life
feed
so
their
that they can
children
feed
and
their
survive.
children and survive.
So
So
we've seen some
we've seen some
effects of the
effects of the Great Depression,
of the job
lost
that people are having
that people are having
to look for employment
look for
in
employment
any way that they
in any
can.
way that they can.
And
And
you've got
got
families who are struggling
to
to keep their homes
keep their
and
homes
struggling
and
to
struggling
find
to
food.
find food.
So you've got two
So
families
you've got
during the
two
Great
families
Depression,
during the Great Depression side by side.
Okay.
Okay.
And then FDR is
is
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Have you guys ever heard of Franklin Roosevelt?
I've heard a little.
He died before Martin Luther King rose to prominence. He died before World War II ended. Unfortunately, he didn't see America win the war. But he helped America's economy come back. He came up with the New Deal. He ushered us into World War II. He didn't really want to, but he brought America back with his economic policy
and
his plans.
So
you guys are gonna think about some of the causes, and there were a lot.
There were a lot.
And you have to pick up an effect of the Great Depression.
So
keep those in mind.
This is all recorded, so I'm gonna put it up.
Go ahead, Erin. I'll get to you, Alexi.
I was just gonna where were you gonna put the video?
Oh, I'm gonna put it up
right after this.
And then there's videos.
Eulogy.
One's on the Roaring Twenties. It's only 1 to 2 minutes long. And then there's another one.
On the Great Depression.
Feel free to watch those. In addition to this, it'll really kind of give you a better understanding.
Go ahead, Alexi.
So if none of the credit stuff happened, there wouldn't be a Great Depression.
It probably wouldn't have done that. And now you have to understand that after World War I, which ended in 1918,
the
economy, it took
about
10 to 12 years for it to get to that point, right? Because at the end of World War I, people were making. We were coming out of World War I making new weapons. Our economy was growing. We were lending money. We were pretty much the leading country at the time, right? We were exporting more than we were importing. And that is a sign of a good economy. However, making all of that
and
giving things to people on credit, and that happening over time contributed to the crash and the Great Depression. Like I said, the fun and the nice things of the 20s that you see, everything shiny and new and luxurious. The fun of that was paid for in the 30s by everyone. So if you were born in the 20s, you were most likely born in the 30s. And I know that my grandfather lived through the Depression, and they had a store up in Michigan, which is where Bud Not Buddy takes place as well. They had a little store. They made it through, but it was hard. They didn't have a lot, and my grandmother had nothing. Her father was a fisherman. So they lived on what they ate, what he caught, and there was nothing. So whenever my kids are picky and they don't want the food that's in front of them, I'm like, my grandmother had nothing. You're gonna eat what's put in front of you. She didn't have the food you have. And so it was a hard time. And so with this meat, you're like, what does this have to do with Bud Not Buddy? What does this have to do with our story?
hard times.
He
He
doesn't have a family. He at least he's trying to find one part of his family. He grows up in an orphanage. And he is trying to get along in a world that is challenging because of the time that he's living. So that's very important to understand what's going on with America at the time that Bud is that the story is happening. Yes, Eris, what's your question?
I was just gonna think that not because we saw what the Great Depression was about. Now I understand most of what the challenging part
Oh,
means.
good.
That is my goal.
I love hearing that. Thanks, Eris.
You're welcome.
Does anybody have any
questions about
the Great Depression,
about what credit?
That's complicated.
That's complicated.
That's pretty complicated. Stuff to understand.
And I mean a lot.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a bit. I want to say advanced, but it's kind of very technical. So I'll take any question. But after this, you got the video up,
and then you guys can either watch it again and grab a pause. You only have to have one, and then one effect.
You can write. You're gonna write 3 to 5 sentences. You are more than welcome to pick more than one cause. And then you're gonna write a paragraph about it. And you are going to submit that, and that's going to be your graded assignment for reading for the week. Tomorrow, you will start chapter
we'll
1
start chapter 1 on Bud Not Buddy.
So what we're doing with this, you're like, okay, so what are we doing with this?
What we're trying to do here is we're going to be
analyzing Bud's
character,
but we're also
going to be doing that by grabbing
information from the text
to tell
and support why you
came to that conclusion about Bud.
So, for example, we just talked about how the Great Depression is challenging. So you're gonna say it was challenging. So what about Bud shows that living in a challenging time. And you're gonna find that in the chapter. We're gonna go chapter by chapter. You're not gonna have to like book. So tomorrow and Wednesday is chapter 1. I kind of broke it down so that you guys can take it slowly. It's a lot of information. Today is a lot of information. So
information is good for example, because we see the Great Depression. Now I understand more of the story than before reading the whole book.
Right, and that's important. Because then you guys can go into it and know
when they talk
about maybe they'll talk about how there aren't enough food to go around, and you're like, well, why? Just go to the grocery store. And it's like, but people have to wait in bread lines. You can't always just go to the store and get the food that you need, or a job to buy the food, right? Because people were having a hard time finding a job, just like today. It's hard to find jobs right now because of the pandemic, because of the shutdown. It's really hard, and it kind of echoes to today. But we made it through it then, and we'll make it through it now. And it just takes resilience, which I think Bud's character will show you guys. He's a survivor. And I love stories like that. I don't like stories where the character has always had it easy. And it's nice to see that a person works hard for what they get. Go ahead, Erin.
I was just gonna say, is Bud still alive?
It's not. I don't believe it's a true story.
It is fiction.
But now my grandmother was born in 1939. So the last year of the Depression. She's alive. She's alive. 81. She's 81. Yeah. But it was hard during World War II as well. You still felt the effect. But if Bud had been